Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, let's go ahead and make some Bacalao Guisado. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to be using about 2 pounds of fish, of salted fish. I'm going to be using this, it's about 1 pound of bacalao. This is salted codfish. I got this at the Puerto Rican grocery store, but if you cannot find it, you can also use salted pollock fish. I found this also at another Puerto Rican grocery store. Very versatile and it tastes very similar. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and place both packages of the fish in water and I'm going to boil it for about 30 minutes. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what's the difference between this salted fish compared to like regular frozen fish that you find in the grocery store? So whether it's salted codfish, which is bacalao, or salted pollock fish, which is abejo, the difference between this fish and regular frozen fish is that it is completely dried out. So all of the moisture that fish carry is completely dried out and it is salted. It's salted as a preservation method. So I like to desalt my fish by boiling it in water for about 30 minutes, like I mentioned before. This is how I was taught how to do it growing up by my family. But another way to remove some of the salt is by leaving it in cold water covered in the refrigerator overnight. And it's not a bad idea if you're not in a hurry, like if you're planning ahead to do that method. But if you are in a pinch, honestly, boiling it is easy peasy. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and boil it again for about 10 minutes in fresh water. So within that time frame, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my root vegetables. I have here some batata dulce, which is yam. I also have here some ñame and some green bananas. And then I'm also going to be using some yuca. I got the frozen yuca at the Puerto Rican grocery store because I didn't have fresh yuca, but that is okay. All right, so the salted pollock fish came without bone, as you can see. Perfect. This is great if you don't want to deal with deboning fish, okay? Because it can be kind of tedious and a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. But it's not too hard though. So what I like to do is I like to slide my finger up the fish where I feel the bone, and then I just gently remove the meat. I take out the excess skin. If you want to keep the skin, you can. It's actually really good for you. I don't like to have too much fish skin, so I take that out. But yeah, so with gloves, because I don't want my hands to smell like fish, I just go ahead and run my thumbs, and then I just take out the bone. And then after I take out the bone, I get the meaty pieces and I press them just to make sure that there's no little pieces of bone. But if you have a faster way to do it, please let me know in the comment section down below because I never learned otherwise. This is just what has always worked for me. All right, so my fish is ready. Now we're gonna go ahead and prepare the base of our stew. All right, so I have a pretty large skillet here that's also very deep. I'm gonna go ahead and set my heat over medium. Once my pan is nice and warm, I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle a generous amount of olive oil. As you can see, this was the very last bit of this bottle, but I do have another bottle, so all good. And you can add as much as you like. I know my mom likes to add a lot of extra virgin olive oil. I just add enough. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add some onion slices. You can use any kind of onion you like. So the good thing about this dish is every family makes it different. So you can go ahead and customize it however you like. You can add whatever your family added growing up. My mom likes to add onions and different types of peppers. I kind of do the same, but if I don't have peppers, I just add onions and it's all good. So yeah, I feel like the onions is a must, but stuff like peppers and even the root vegetables that you add, that's going to be, depending on your preference. All right, so now that my onions and my peppers are pretty fragrant, I'm not going to caramelize them or anything. I'm just going to soften them up a little bit. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of sofrito. I have 2 videos on my channel on how to make sofrito. My very first video on this channel and you can tell this my first video, is authentic sofrito. I'm going to be revisiting that in the future and like recreate it. And I also have a simple sofrito recipe, so be sure to check those out. They should be in the description box below. So then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. If you don't have tomato paste, you can use 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce, and this is to taste. I don't like to add too much tomato in my bacalao guisado, but you can add a little more or a little less if you prefer. And my heat is still set over medium. Gave everything a pretty good stir, but I did notice that I needed a little more oil, so eventually I'm going to add some more. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw my fish in there. And by the way, if you're making this, you need to open a window, okay? Because if not, your house is going to smell like fish for a couple of days. So I reserved about half a cup of the liquid that I boiled my fish in. It created pretty much like a fish broth. Not only is this going to add flavor, but also a little bit of seasoning. And then I'm going to add enough water. I'm going to eyeball it. I added about 4 cups of water because I want to make sure that I add enough water not only to cover my fish, but also to cover all of the root vegetables that I'm going to be adding. So when you're making this, you're going to be able to eyeball and gauge just how much water you need. And it also depends on the size of your pot. All right, so this is the part where it's completely customizable. You're gonna go ahead and add all of your root vegetables. I added the entire batata dulce, which is yam. I think it's also called Japanese sweet potato. I added about half of the ñame that I had because it was huge. But you can also add malanga, yautía. I honestly just got the vegetables that was available at the Puerto Rican grocery store when I went. I also added about 2 green bananas and some yuca pieces, and this is all going to be to taste. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this Lori's Total seasoning. This is going to be to taste as well. It looks like a lot of seasoning, but it's honestly not because that seasoning is not that salty. And then I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of dried oregano. And I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Give everything a good stir as I go. And as you can see, I have just enough water. You may be thinking, I feel like you could have added a little more water. However, when everything comes to a boil, the vegetables are going to release water as well. And it's like the perfect amount. And then I went ahead to be, I don't know, not to be fancy, but I added 2 ají dulce, which are like these little mini Caribbean sweet peppers. It's gonna give it amazing flavor. All right, let's go ahead and bring this to a simmer. So once it came to a simmer, I reduced the heat to low and I cooked it for about 1.5 hours and it came out amazing. And just like that, my bacalao guisado is done. And in my opinion, the best side dish to pair bacalao guisado is with some plain white rice. So I have 2 videos on my channel on how to make white rice. I have a video on medium grain and long grain, so be sure to check that out, as well as all of the other videos on my channel. Sometimes I get a lot of questions if I have a video for XYZ, and I usually do. You just gotta go ahead and look. I've been around for about 5 years now, which is crazy. And honestly, I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful to be creating these videos with you guys. I'm thankful to cook together with you because I feel like I'm cooking with you every time you tell me that you made it and you loved it. And, you know, when you ask me questions and all of that, just makes me so happy and so grateful. So thank you. And no bacalao guisado is complete without some fresh homemade tostones and some slices of aguacate. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. The best way to support my channel is by subscribing, making sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when a new video is out. And if you try this dish or if you have any questions, please make sure to leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time.